Good evening and welcome to the September 18th meeting of the Des Moines Planning and Zoning Committee. I will start by reading our rules and procedures. The Plan and Zoning Committee is generally an advisory body to the City Council. City Council will hold a public hearing and make the final decision on all matters before the Commission other than site plans and subdivision plats, unless denials or conditional approvals thereof are appealed. The applicant will be given 10 minutes to present the request. Proponents and then opponents from the public are then allowed to speak in that order, with each speaker allowed a maximum of 5 minutes. The applicant is then allowed 5 minutes for a rebuttal. The hearing will then be closed and the Commission will discuss and vote on the issue. All comments are to be germane to the item under consideration, and speakers are to maintain a courteous manner. Items listed on the consent portion of the agenda will not be individually discussed and will be considered for approval in accordance with the recommendation in the staff report, unless an individual present or a member of the Commission requests that the item be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately under the public hearing agenda. First, could we get a motion to approve our minutes from the last meeting?
So moved.
Thank you. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. And any abstentions or passes? Thank you. Let's then move into the consent hearing items. Item number 1 is a request from HRCNFS 1 LLC, it's a lot of letters, for review and approval of a PUD's development site plan, Hubble Solis, on 1.03 acres located at 1170 Grays Parkway, which would allow for the development of 3 multi-household residential buildings containing 24 units. Would anyone in the audience like this item removed from the consent agenda and discussed tonight? Anyone on the Commission? Okay, item number 1 will stay on consent. Item number 2 is a request from Q Properties LLC for review and approval of a public hearing site plan and for a type 2 design alternative in accordance with city code for property located at 3701 Cottage Grove Avenue to allow construction of a 576 square foot attached garage and mudroom addition on a house type D in an N5 neighborhood district, with the following design alternative requests. A, for a 6.3 foot rear yard setback, which is 23.7 feet less than the required 30 foot rear yard setback per city code. And B, for an attached garage addition with an overhead door on the primary facade where an attached garage is only allowed on the side or rear facade of a house D per city code. Would anyone in the audience tonight like this item removed from consent and discussed? How about anyone on the Commission? Okay. Item 2 will also stay on consent. Item number 3 is a request from Timothy Bennett for a review and approval of a preliminary plat, Pecan Acres, on 38.19 acres of property in the vicinity of 4635 Northwest Morningstar Drive in unincorporated Polk County within the 2-mile distance for an extraterritorial review of subdivision plats by the City of Des Moines to allow the property to be subdivided into 1 buildable lot and 1 outlot. Would anyone in the audience tonight like this item removed from consent and discussed? Anyone on the Commission? Okay, item 3 will stay on consent. Item 4 is a request from Legacy 515 LLC for the following regarding property located at 520 35th Street. Determination as to whether the requested rezoning is in conformance with Plan DSM. Amend Plan DSM to revise the future land use classification of the property from high-density residential within a community node to community mixed use within a community node, and rezone the property from NX3 Neighborhood Mixed District to RX2 Mixed Use District to allow use of the property for small-scale office and commercial uses. Would anyone in the audience like this item removed from consent? Okay. Item number 4 will move to public hearing. And there is the possibility of moving items number 5 and 6 to the consent agenda, so I'm going to read through those now. Item 5 is a request from Global Des Moines 1 LLC, represented by Joseph Zumo, for the following regarding property located at 6101 Southeast 14th Street. Determination as to whether the requested rezone is in conformance with Plan DSM. Amend Plan DSM to revise the future land use classification of the property from community mixed use within a regional node to industrial within a regional node, and rezone the property from CX5 mixed use district to I1 industrial district to allow use of the property for RV storage, including RV storage units and carports. Would anyone in the audience tonight like this item discussed? Anyone here for this item? Anyone on the commission? Okay. Let me read item number 6, and then we can get a motion to move these to consent. Item 6 is a request from Bell Avenue Properties for review and approval of a public hearing site plan, Waldinger Southeast Laydown Area, for property located at 6200 Scout Trail, and for a Type 2 design alternative in accordance with City Code to allow outdoor storage within the street side yard where required to be located in a rear or interior side yard per City Code. Would anyone in the audience like this item discussed tonight? Anyone on the commission? Okay. Could we have a motion to move items 5 and 6 to consent?
So moved.
Thank you. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passes. That means our consent item tonight is items 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. Could we have a motion to move the consent agenda? Thank you, Francis. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Motion passes. And we will jump into item number 4. Sriyoshi is going to present that for us tonight.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sriyoshi Chakraborty, Planning Staff. Item number 4 is a rezoning request for a property at 520 35th Street. The applicant is proposing to rezone the property from NX3 Neighborhood Mixed District to RX2 Mixed Use District to allow the use of the property for a small-scale office and other commercial uses. This is the subject property. It's on 35th Street. It's located on a segment of 35th Street that's between Grand Avenue and Ingersoll Avenue corridor. The land use in the general vicinity is a fairly dense mix of housing as well as commercial and other mixed uses along the Ingersoll Avenue corridor. This is the subject property. As you can see, this is a one-story building with a basement area as well. Just to give you a little bit context as I'm going through the pictures, it's been vacant for a little while. This is the intersection of Ingersoll and 35th Street. As you can see, the higher density housing in this particular area. This is a picture of the driveway. There's parking in the back. Just some background information. As I mentioned, the property has been vacant for a while. In the past, it was used for small-scale commercial uses. Our understanding is that there was a hair salon and a massage studio in that particular location. In the past, it had also been used for a small church. at which time a code enforcement case was started because the property was not appropriately zoned for that particular use. Since then, the building has stayed vacant, and therefore it has lost its legal non-conforming use. The applicant wants to be able to continue to rent out the space for small-scale commercial uses such as maybe an office or similar commercial uses such as a salon or a small studio, uses of that nature. So with that, it requires a rezoning to RX2 district in order to allow those smaller commercial uses. It also requires amending the land use plan from high-density residential to community mixed use. It is, please note that it is also located within a community node. So there's a fairly good mix of various uses in this particular area. Staff does believe that the proposed uses fit the character of the area. There's a mix of uses, there's high density, there's easy access to various amenities. In addition to that, the existing building structure on the property is suited to such smaller scale commercial uses. Therefore, staff thinks that the proposed zoning is appropriate and recommends approval of the rezoning from NX3 to RX2 to allow the proposed uses. Should the applicant secure the rezoning, they may be required to do full site compliance. However, there are certain uses that have been listed in your staff report which will not trigger a full site compliance. There are certain other uses, for instance, if the building were to be used for a assembly place of worship or a church use, then it will require full site compliance. So ultimately, that depends on the proposed uses that the applicant pursues in the future for this particular building. With that, we did receive some comment cards. Here's a couple in support. We got one in opposition. There were no particular comments mentioned. This is the consent map. We had a fairly large notification list, and because of the volume of the notices that were sent out, you might see that we received the comment cards, but they don't register in the percentages. It's the fairly small number compared to the number of total notices that were, or comment cards that were sent out. So with that, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to take them at this time.
Any questions? Doesn't look like it. Okay, thank you. Is the applicant present? If you'd like, you can come up. You have 10 minutes to present. Please sign in on that white sheet of paper when you're finished, and please state your name and address for our record.
Caroline Metzger, 4225 Fleur Drive, 171, Des Moines, Iowa, 50321. Not much that I think, add. I thought I was going to have to come up here and do it myself, but she said everything, I think. Yeah, we just want to open up the building to expand the current use for those small personal services like massage and hair care and things like that, in addition to office spaces, which it already is at the moment. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience tonight who would like to speak in favor of this item? Anyone neutral and opposed? Yep, please come forward. State your name and address for the record, and then you have up to 5 minutes, and you can please sign in on that white sheet when you're done.
My name is Dana Lovett. I own the parcel that's noted as 535 here, 35th Street, which also consists of the address 531, 527, and 3451 Grand. So I want to make a couple notes. One is, I don't know on that one page where she had that red circle that kind of went around here. That red circle included properties that are, as far to my knowledge, all multifamily or have residences in them. So if you go around the corner onto Ingersoll, you have, I hear some feedback. I don't know if you guys hear that too. Sorry. If you go around on Ingersoll, you have your massage parlors, your hair salons, and you have all the things up Ingersoll. And then, but on 35th Street is a very dense population of residences. We're already being disrupted by this MK2 right here, which used to be the Bank of America and is now being bulldozed, which is affecting the whole entire street. I have owned this since 2021. I am an owner-manager that has been in this business for 25 years, and I care a lot about people, and I do a lot of work to help people. I work for a lot of nonprofit foundations, as well as I've founded my own nonprofit foundation to help people. And extra traffic is going to hurt my people that I protect here across the street, which I just want to point out is the absolute majority. This circle of 535, this whole parcel, is the majority that's going to be affected, which is my parcel. And every single other, let's see, 524 is a residence, 532 is a residence, 541 is a residence. On the corner, you've got 3509, 3511, those are residences. And then on the other side of mine, 3407, those are all residences. So you have this huge node of residences, and right in the center, you're going to pop an unknown something, which the owner seemed to not even be able to speak to what they're going to put there. There wasn't really an articulate answer to what the plan is for that. I didn't hear an articulate answer for that. But my articulation is that this whole area that was given notices were all residences, and we're all trying to help people, and we don't need another business right here. This business has already been a sore for this street for so long, since I've owned this. And the businesses are over here on Ingersoll, up here. We don't need it here where everyone lives, right next to where people are living. It's gonna really bother people. This construction project on the corner of 35th and Ingersoll is already ripping up the entire street of 35th. We've dealt with the construction on Ingersoll for every single minute of my ownership of this property. And now we have to deal with an unknown right here of 520. And that's the only unknown. Everything else is residential. Why should we have to deal with that? Why should all of my tenants, hundreds of tenants, have to deal with that? They don't want that and or need it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience who would like to speak in opposition to this item? Okay. Applicant, you do have 5 minutes for a rebuttal if you want to address any of the concerns.
My rebuttal is just that that space is already an office space, so not much is going to change in terms of its individual office spaces inside of an enclosed building, and we have parking in the back, so I don't see how it will disrupt any differently than now, how there will be a huge change. It's just opening up the individual offices. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 offices upstairs, with ample parking in the back. So, and there have been offices there running, and have never gotten complaints about any of them in the past. So it's not like this is moving from an apartment complex and now suddenly we're trying to put a bunch of services or office spaces in there. Like, it is an office space already. It's not a residential apartment. So it was like that when we got it, and haven't changed the use of it since.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I will now close the public hearing and open it up to the commission for discussion and motions. Thank you, Francis. Any discussion on that motion? Okay, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Everybody, motion passes. I know there is at least one announcement.
Good evening, Planning and Zoning Board. I just wanted to introduce Emily Duffy. She has just joined our legal office here in the last couple weeks. She will be in the future splitting duties with me, so I won't have be here at every meeting, but we'll start to kind of see a new face here in the seat. So I just wanted to introduce her and welcome her to the city.
Welcome. Okay, any other announcements, director's reports?
No, I was just going to say she should enjoy the applause because I don't know if it'll happen again. No, just appreciate everybody's time, and next meeting will probably be a little bit longer.
Okay, bring snacks. Thank you.
And I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for the card. That was really sweet. I appreciate the thoughtfulness.